Still here in the beautiful county of the West Riding of Yorkshire, home Firth, and this building behind me here is the Picturedrome, and it really has got a lot of cinema history, a little bit like our royal story coming up, simply because this was the cinema that was the, shall we say, pioneer of filmmaking over here in the United Kingdom. You know those saucy cars that were very similar to the Carry On films, Barmforth, that you bought really and when you were on holiday and sent them back, you know, the ones I'm showing you now at the side of the screen? Well, they originated here in this wonderful county and in this wonderful little village, and then they decided to build their own cinema in 1912 to show the silent reels that they were filming of local people around. And this really was the kickstart, if you like, to cinema going as we know it today. Now, a bit of a tenuous link, as you can imagine, because as we know, drama is all about film and film's all about drama. And now apparently that now infamous front cover from the one-time royal known as Meghan Markle is taking, well, shall we say, a bigger turn as ever. What are we talking about? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here, and it's ever nice to have your company on a wet and windy day. Yes, looking a bit bedraggled, aren't I? Did find a cafe, by the way, Sid's Cafe, that sells Horlicks. Finally, yes, and a lovely toasted tea cake too. We all like that. Not too pricey either, because my flask is bust. I'll let you know how that develops. I know you want to know. You'll be at the edge of your seat learning about that story. But this particular story, on a serious note, really all centres upon the fact that prior to Meghan Markle joining our wonderful British monarchy, she decided, without their knowledge, we might point out, to do a wonderful interview. Her PR team thought this was a good idea to do an interview with the esteemed magazine Vanity Fair. You will recall this particular front cover. Now, if you know this particular story that's now been released via Valentine Low's new book, Courtiers, that's great, but what you won't know as ever is what we found out for you exclusively. Now, this story apparently, you see, took off because Meghan didn't like the title, Wild About Harry. She thought allegedly it was a racist title, a throwback to the 1930s hit song. If she'd done a little bit of digging that she didn't know anything about the royal family, let's be honest, she told us that many times, didn't she? She will have known that that was the headline that the tabloid newspaper The Sun used upon the birth of Princess Diana leaving the hospital with her brand new baby boy, Harry. I'm just wild about Harry. So again, if she'd have done her homework, she would have known there was no racist connotations. But as ever, Meghan needed a story. Now apparently she wasn't too happy, not just with the front cover, didn't like the photographer, didn't like the pictures, didn't like the styling, you name it. I thought she looked perfect personally on this particular story. And this was the story allegedly that tipped Harry into finally making sure that he was going to get engaged to the former cable TV actress. But what got interesting here, as ever, was this. What she's really angry about now is the fact that nobody from Vanity Fair has come out to defend her against these alleged allegations. As you can imagine, you know, they were very quick, if you recall, to try and dampen the ardour of a previous royal biographer, Tom Bower. Seemingly though, Meghan feels that the Vanity Fair cover should have been addressed, and apparently that she wasn't that difficult at all. For now, we contacted the people at Vanity Fair and they said exclusively that basically at the time of publication, Meghan Markle was extremely happy with the pictures, the headline, the story, the front cover. In fact, quoted, she was over the moon with the whole thing. This of course put her in the very esteemed top level of A-list stars. Only the top level stars get to be the front cover on Vanity Fair. And let's be honest, nobody would have booked Meghan Markle to be on that front cover had she not had that royal association. But as ever, according to Meghan, this was all about her, how she was perceived, and more importantly, how she's going to be perceived moving forward into a brand new royal life. Seemingly, she was wild about Harry, but not wild about that Vanity Fair cover. Now you decide which version, as ever, you believe. Neil Sean in the very heart of home Firth.